Hello, welcome back to Pommy and Oz. Hope we're all doing really well. If you are new around here, please smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. We're well on our way to 3,000. I can't thank you enough. And today what we're doing is we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to do it real early. I thought a few of you have been in my DMs. And first of all, thank you very much for the birthday wishes yesterday. You're all absolutely brilliant eggs in my book. You made my birthday. So thank you very much for that. And we're doing a little bit of a POM power rankings where I see the sides at the moment and if the season completed overnight, where I think they would. So I thought it's a real good discussion point. It's a really good thing with all the drafts coming up, with the lists as they are now, where we can maybe look and see, well, with needs and things like that, what they're going to do. So I thought it's a good little discussion point, and it'll be something that we can look back this time next year and laugh when I have someone 18th and they win the flag, don't they, sir? Let's get straight on to 18. I've got North Melbourne here. North Melbourne, like obviously when we look at their trade period, they've brought in a lot of picks. They've dished pick one out and they've gone another way. You'd expect Sheasel and Wardlaw to be them picks. They've brought Logan. They haven't really lost much, in my opinion, Jason on Francis. I'm not a huge fan of him. I think Wardlaw will straight away just be that guy. Darcy Tucker as well. But I still think they've got a lot of work to do. Obviously, there's a few question marks with what's going on at North at the moment, but I do think they'll struggle. I do think they'll finish bottom. I'd be surprised if anyone has anyone else. There is probably a good argument for this side here, 17th. Eagles are a weird one, aren't they? They've Junior Rioli obviously been their major loss. Jaden Hunt coming in, dropping back to pick 8 as well. Obviously, they've got a plan in play with that one, but it's going to be an interesting one, this one, because when you look at the Eagles, they've got a real long core list, haven't they? Do you know what I mean? If you look at it, they've got a lot of core players who are, for want of a better word, I hate using this phrase, but they're old, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? They're old. And you just think with injuries and stuff, that's going to be one of their things. They are the 4th oldest side in the competition. And a lot's going to be relying on them old guys. So I think that they will struggle. I do think that we'll start to see more of a turning point for the Eagles. I think they'll be the 17th. 16th then, this might surprise some people, but I've got Essendon. I look at Essendon's trade period and, do you know what I mean? They've brought in Weeds and Setters. They've lost Francis. They've got a real good pick because they're going to be taking the best of the rest at 4th. I still think that they'll struggle. I look at that list and I just think, for me, it doesn't excite me. It's the second youngest list in the comp. The second youngest list in the comp. So I think that always plays kind of a part in it. But I just look at what they're doing. I think Scott's going to... It's such a regimented game plan. I think Scott's going to take a bit of teething, but I think he'll stabilise them to an extent. But I do think that they need another trade period, particularly, and maybe see how Sheasel goes. Let's hope they get Sheasel. But 15th, I've got the Hawks. I think the Hawks will slowly start to build. They have gone with the youngest side, but I've got a feeling that, you know, they're going to get some cheap wins early doors, which we do see with these sides, which will keep them off the bottom 3. I do feel that them other sides that we've mentioned, when the crux gets a little bit harder, got a feeling about Hawks. I think that Sam Mitchell has been so confident in what he's doing and how the list is developing that, for me, that says to me that he's not unduly bothered. You got to remember that, do you know what I mean? Carlton managed to blag 16th at one stage, do you know what I mean, when they went through a rebuild. And I've got a feeling here that when you look at their ins and outs as well, this year, Meekie, Amon, Stevens, they've lost Jaeger and Tom, which are huge ones, and Gunston. But I just feel that, you know, he's going to go that youth direction, and I think it may pay off. That's going to be probably my surprise packet of the year. 14th, I could have these lowers as well. I think Taranto, Hopper, Hill, and Brun going out, Bedford coming in. Yes, they're going to get Cadman, but this, for me, looks like we're going to see like the first rebuild since they've come into the competition. We don't really count the first one. I do think GWS are going to struggle. I think they're going to be mediocrity. I think they may be that team as well that pisses teams off, and that's why I've got them 14th. I think they may have reputation in the top 8. 13th, St Kilda. They've brought Ross in about 5 minutes ago. Ben Long went out saying Cordy. They didn't really gain much. They didn't really lose much, as we say. But I just feel that that game plan with Ross, it's going to make them hard to beat. I just don't think they'll win enough games. I think they're going to be a very grindy side. And I didn't really like the appointment. I'd love St Kilda fans to let me know what you thought in the comment. For me, I didn't think that's what they wanted to do. I think with that list, I don't think that list is as bad as a lot of people say. It's the 10th oldest. Do you know what I mean? It's the 10th most games. It's right in the middle thing. I don't think it's miles away. And I thought they'd be more active in the trade period. Obviously, they were sacking Ratton. I think it's going to be a tough year for the Saints. Then in 12, we've got Gold Coast. I think Gold Coast is going to do Gold Coast things. Do you know what I mean? I think it's just going to be them Gold Coast things. Again, the 13th oldest list in the comp here. And it's really one of them lists that you look at and you look at their ins and outs this year as well. Doesn't exactly excite you, does it? Tom Berry and Ben Long coming in. Obviously, do you know what I mean? Their draft hand, pick 5, they're going to get a very good youngster. But with views in ranking Bowes and Corbett, I think it's just going to be a mediocre year for the Suns. I can't see them challenging finals. I think that should be the aim. But probably my surprise here is Crows. And you may say, Pom, wow, they're high. I think bringing Rankine in, I think is a good stage. I think they're the second oldest list. I think they'll get Sloan back, which I think sorts their midfield out. I've got a feeling that these guys will challenge. I do. I think with their home fixture leniency, with where they finished last year as well, I think that they will go up the ladder. And I do like the way Adelaide play. I'm a fan. They give it a go. Just got a sneaky suspicion about Adelaide, and I don't know why. I haven't got anything other than a gut, but I can just see them finishing in that 11th position. 10th, I've got Freo. Now, Freo would be a team I'd expect to challenge. They brought in Jaeger and Luke Jackson and Corbett. They did lose, though, a lot of depth players. Lobb, Akers, Lug, Meek, Tucker. I think they've put a lot of eggs in that basket. 14th youngest, I think they will build, but I just don't think that they'll get into the 8. I just feel that there's still something missing from that list when I look at it. I look at the picks they've got this year as well. 30, 40. Obviously, they're backing their list is where it is. I think it's going to be another development year. I think a lot will depend on injuries with that, but just my gut tells me that. This may be a surprise for some, but I've got the Doggies missing the 8. Now, look, they brought in Lobb and Jones, but I think they've lost a lot of depth players and a lot of players there like Dunkley, who is a star. And I look at the Dogs and I just feel, I don't know, they're doing well, but I just feel like they've stagnated under Beveridge. I feel like there's another level that this side can go. And I think that you've started to see Dunkley has wanted out twice in 3 years. For me, it just says to me that are they going that next step? Are they going that next step? And I don't think that they have enough. Even with the Bonts and McRae's of this world, I don't feel that they've got enough, and I feel that they may slip out. Into A, I've got Port. Now, Port's trade period wasn't the most exciting. Jason Horne-Francis, though, obviously coming in, which will excite Port fans, is a local lad. Junior Rioli coming in. I like that deal. But I just think Port, if they can stay fit, they're right in that middle age area. I think they'll finish in the 8. I think Port will go all right. I've got a good feeling about Port. 7th, I've got Collingwood. A lot of people predicting Collingwood are going to totally bomb out the 8. I don't think so. I think McStay, Hill, Mitchell, Frampton makes them stronger. Grundy, you can't count. He didn't play much last year. He was injured for a long period. I still think, though, that they just got a feeling that this side here won a lot of games by short margins, which is a great thing. It's a great thing. But I think teams did work that out towards the end. I think they need to add another layer. I'm a big fan of what Fly is doing, though, that Collingwood. And I hate to say it because I fucking hate them. But I've got to say, he's got them going all right. But I do think that they'll still make the 8. And I think it'll be a good year because I think they'll get Mitchell in and they'll start getting that second wave in. Carlton 6th. I've got them 6th. I had them 6th last year, I think, as well. All on injuries, this. If Carlton can stay fit, they're going to be fine. I've got a good feeling about Carlton. Obviously, they've backed their list in. They haven't made much changes, which I always think is a good sign when you're in around that 8, 9, 10 spot. The trade period, they've got Blake Acres. They've got some handy picks as well. Do you know what I mean? 2 top 30 picks, which are very handy. I think that they'll just add them layers, and I think Carlton will be one to watch, and I could see them higher. But at the moment, I've got them 6th. 5th, Might surprise some. Richmond, I think they've had a very aggressive trade period. They've had a micro reset, we'll call it. We won't say a rebuild, but Taranto and Hopper instantly makes them better. I think they're going to be strong. They're, again, third oldest, third most experienced. These are a side that are ready. They know how to do it, and I think that they make them better. I do think they make them better. I expect to see them. I did like Melbourne's trade period. I think this has been very understated. I think bringing Hunter in and Grundy are huge when they've lost Jackson and Lederman. They've basically taken a chance on Shaki. Hunt and Bedford went out, and the other in for them is Hunter. I like the Hunter thing. I do. He's not someone that I would have personally gone for, but I do like it. I think he adds something. Got them fourth. That'll be an exciting one, I think. I think Melbourne will be all right. Sydney, again, another side that bucked the trend. Again, 12th in age now. This is an important factor. They're starting to get older. They haven't gone crazy as well in the trade period. Francis being the in, which is an extra bit of depth. I like Sydney. I really do. I had them as my smokies to win it last year. They didn't quite get there, unfortunately, but they did have a very good year and a year of learning. I think Sydney will be back there again, and I think they've backed their list in. When you look at their picks as well, do you know what I mean? They've got some decent picks as well to really add some more depth, which I think will give them some options in a long season. So Sydney wants to look out for. Second, I've got Brisbane. Loved Brisbane's trade period. Loved it. I think Gunston and Dunkley bring some firepower in. They're the 7th oldest list, the 4th most experienced. I like this. I think Brisbane are going to go close. I think they're going to challenge. I think it's something that they need to do as well, because they've always got there, haven't they? They've always got close. They'll be disappointed. Last year, I think, that they didn't make the finals. Sydney obviously had that grand final, and they'll learn from that. I think Brisbane need to go that next level, and I think Dunkley and Gunston are going to really help them out. And first, and this is just the ladder, I've got Geelong. I think Geelong, doing Geelong things, haven't they? Won the flag, also won the trade period, added massive depth, added some youth as well. Jai Clark incoming. I think they're going to be very tough to beat. Very tough to beat. We'll do a full prediction when the trade period is, but at the moment, I'd say that these are the clubs, Geelong, who are looking very pretty at the minute, and the others are going to have to really nail their picks. We'll definitely reconvene this when they get their draft and see how that changes things. But until next time, let me know what you think. Have I been harsh or overzealous on some teams? Let me know. Till next time, cheers for the support. Pom out.